Yes, that's right. The game that I played to death has received a remastered version, and everyone and their mother wants to know my thoughts on it. Nobody cares about the Saga Scarlet Grace review that I was working on. All that matters is the Romancing Saga Minstrel Song Remaster. After 15 years, the big PS2 title returns and is released for the PS4, PS5, Switch, Steam, Android, and iOS. This is in fact the first time that European players get to play this game, as it wasn't originally released over here. Only us cool kids with DVD region bypassing tricks could enjoy it back then, you know. Initially, I was against the idea of making a video on the remaster, but given how much attention my channel has received recently, I guess I might as well give my first impressions. So let's get started. The first and most obvious thing to compare is the graphics. Even when using an emulator in 1080p, things do look far smoother and cleaner in the new version. And of course, everything is in widescreen, so we are able to see more stuff. Even that one area from the Boundary Break video. The map screen is still standard definition for some strange reason, but the sides of the screen do have the artwork of the characters, so that's a little bit of flair that I like. Aside from the amazing opening, the other cinematics seem to also be in standard definition, and they don't seem quite as polished. 2D images that just stood still feel a bit different. It's like they were made bigger with some automated process which made everything look smoother, and I don't think it fits everywhere. But I can't say that the pixelated look of the original looks better on larger screens, so I can label this as an imperfect improvement. Coming back to the in-game elements, the basic interface was enhanced, and now we have a mini-map that's always visible in the corner. It does display the enemies in dungeons, so that's quite helpful. The menu has a very different layout, which can even be adjusted in the extensive config menu. There's even a clock which displays the current event rank, but admittedly a clock with over 20 points isn't the most intuitive thing in the world. Still, counting the points on the clock and memorizing how this is supposed to work might be faster in the long run than finding those volunteer brigade kids and looking up game facts to find out which rank you currently are, just to know which quests have become available. Speaking of those, you now get messages informing you about the quest log being updated. I initially thought that this was unnecessary, but then I realized that I might not need those personally, but newcomers probably could use a notification that a particular quest has just started. I didn't beat the remaster, so I don't know about all the quests. But it's clear that almost all lines in the game are taken from the PS2 original, which I know might frustrate some people, but this game has a lot of dialogue, a lot of lines, so I do imagine it would have been quite costly to re-record everything. There might be new dialogue for some of the new characters. Aldora can now be used in her original form, and she is said to have her own cutscenes where the lines are original for sure. There's also other new playable characters where I did not yet get the chance to confirm if they have new voice lines. I guess I could only find out by playing the game. The same goes for finding out what new secret bosses were added, what are the new classes or weapons, are sorcery and necromancy truly accessible to the player now? How much stuff gets transferred during New Game Plus? How different does the gameplay feel? And what else was added? I would have to simply beat the game, and I simply don't have time for that right now. There's other small features that I could have mentioned, but I don't feel they're that relevant right now. So yeah, I guess this'll do. Already at this point, I feel like it's a solid remake, and if you were to play the game, you should pick this version over the original. And who knows, maybe if this release does well, we'll get a remastered version of Unlimited Saga! Or a brand new Saga game that'll be fine too.